Hello everyone, my name is Otavio and this is the Galilean Library. Today I'm here with a different sort of video. It's a combination of a wrap-up and a book haul. What sort of video is this? This is madness! So let's get started. During the past week or so I've read one non-fiction book, one graphic novel, and I am about to finish a novel. So I'm going to show those three. The non-fiction book I've read is Ruling the Waves by Deborah Spar, and initially I started reading this for my thesis and I was really impressed. I was not supposed to read the whole thing. I just wanted to pick a few chapters in this for my research, but it was so interesting that I decided to read the whole book, and I finished just today and it was really good. I think I gave it 4 stars, yes, 4 stars. And basically what this book is about is innovation. It's about the waves of innovation through history, how we can perceive certain patterns whenever we innovate, like technology-wise or new ways to do things. For example, it talks about, in the beginning, since the maritime expansions from Europe to this day, and the development of the internet, for example. And it's basically about how whenever there's a new status quo or a new development in technology or in anything really, in social thinking or the paradigm, the way we see the world, whenever there's a new development, the old model feels threatened by the new. So it's about how there's always that conflict of the old and the new whenever something new is being developed. And then when the new technology or the new status quo is established, they become the norm, and whenever something else comes along, they are threatened. So it's a very interesting book, very interesting to see this progression through history and the pattern that has been formed through hundreds and hundreds of years of innovation. And a very, very good read for anyone interested in that sort of stuff, you know, creativity, innovation, development of technology, and how those things affect human beings and the way we live, the way we shape and mold our society. Very, very interesting read. The graphic novel I finished is Saga, Volume 1 by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. This is a space opera sort of a comic book. This is a collection of 6 comics, the first 6 in the series, and I love this. I mean, why am I explaining what Saga is? I'm sure everybody knows. It's been around YouTube forever, and it's gotten all the hype, and it's definitely deserved. I really, really love this. I read it in one sitting, as you do, and it's just amazing. The art in this is fantastic. It's just beautiful, and the story is very, very interesting, and I cannot wait to continue on this story. And I give this 5 stars. And at the moment I am still working on The Warded Man by Peter V. Brett, and I am really, really close in about the beginning of the last part of the book. I really, really enjoyed this. It's definitely a page turner and very engrossing, very interesting, but I do have a few problems with it. First of all, it's a bit predictable, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I was expecting something a little bit more out of the box, something a little different. And the main character in this book, Arlen, I feel like there is a structure. The structure of this is very reminiscent of a lot of other works. If you've ever heard of the monomyth, that's what this is. The monomyth is a structure in stories that has been identified through many works of fiction. The basic structure is that the main character comes from a poor or lower class level. His parents either die or are not accepting, and something happens that he has to leave that, you know, the beginnings of his life, the poor, downtrodden beginning, and through his journey he acquires more knowledge and becomes more powerful until he becomes this great heroic figure. And I feel like there are so many books that follow this structure. To be honest, it is a hard structure not to follow, because that's just the sort of thing that we are interested in, I think. But I have seen it so many times that I'm starting to get a little bit, you know, apprehensive whenever I realize it is that sort of structure. Though to be fair, the book also has 2 other characters that have somewhat different structures in terms of storyline, and I hear that future books also follow other characters that don't really follow that structure at all, so I'm interested to see how that goes. Now for my quick haul, I got 4 books the past week, and here they are. First one is Saga Volume 2. As I love the first one, I had to buy the second one and get on it. And also I'm trying to get through this series soon because Volume 3 is nominated for the Hugo Awards, and since I'm voting this year, I want to read all of the nominees. Next one is Attack on Titan Volume 1. This is part of the Around the World Challenge for the Booktubing Buddies group, and I'm really excited to get into this. And at first when I got it, I was very struck by the fact that it's backwards. So it starts where you would think a book would end. It was interesting. My reaction to this was interesting. I started reading it backwards and I was like, wait, what? This isn't right. It got me thinking about how other standard things that we think are basic are so much different in other cultures. For example, like reading, the reading direction. I think it's about humanity at the brink of extinction because titans, like the one depicted in the cover, that are attacking, these giants that are attacking and destroying humanity. So I think we follow a group of people in one of the last encroachments of humanity, you know, a fort or some sort of like fortified city. So I think this is going to be very interesting as well. Very, very excited to get into this. Next one is The Grace of Kings by Ken Liu. This sounds really interesting. It's a fantasy book, but the setting is somewhat based on Chinese mythology and Chinese history. So a very interesting approach to the genre. I think this is going to be a great read. Last but not least, I got Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone by J.K. Rowling, and I used to have a copy of this particular book, but all of my copies of Harry Potter, except for one, this one over here, which the last book, Deathly Hallows, it's the only one that I still have because all the others were lost somehow when I was moving, and this was like about 3 years ago, 2 years ago. It was a while, and I just really wanted to have a copy and to read it, and I'm probably going to reread this sometime soon, so very excited for that. I love this series, so I want to see how different my experience will be, you know, reading it now that so many years have passed since I've read it the first time. Yeah. That's it for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, click the like button, and if you want to see more, click subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Ciao! But I don't have so I'm going to show those three. So I'm going to show those three for you guys.